All right, everyone, let's dive right in. We're going to start with a topic that, on the surface, seems pretty simple, but I promise you it's the absolute key to unlocking how you actually use Mandarin in the real world. We're talking about numbers. Now, most of you've probably got the basics down, right? You can count 一, 二, 三, 四, which is a fantastic foundation to have. But is that it? Is that all numbers are for? Today, we're going to build on that foundation and see how numbers transform from a simple counting exercise into the essential tools you need for real, everyday interactions. This is what unlocks daily life in a Mandarin-speaking environment. So to do that, we're going to focus on 4 essential contexts. Seriously, mastering the vocabulary for these 4 situations will be the difference between someone who just knows numbers and someone who can actually walk out the door and use them. Okay, our first term is 价格. Let's really listen to the tones here. 价格. That's a sharp, falling 4th tone, followed by a rising 2nd tone. 价格. Now let's geek out on the characters for a second because this is where the language is just so beautiful. The first character, 价, is all about value or price. And the second one, 格, has to do with a standard or a frame. So when you put them together, what do you get? A standard value. It's just such a logical, elegant way to form the word for price. Now, a really common pitfall for English speakers is that J sound. It is not the J you hear in a word like judge. It's a crisp, sharp sound. Try this. Put the tip of your tongue right behind your top teeth, almost like you're about to say the letter D, but then you release it into a ya sound. Listen closely. Jia. The other huge hurdle, of course, is tones. If you say jiage with 2 flat, high tones, it means something like home song. It's completely wrong in this context. But when you get that melody right, that falling jia and the rising ge, it's perfect. Remember, in Mandarin, the melody is the meaning. All right, next up, we have 时间. 时间. That's a rising 2nd tone and then a flat, high 1st tone. 时间. The character analysis here is just fascinating. The first character, 时, means time or a clock, but it's the second character, jian, that adds so much depth. It's a pictograph of a gate with the sun shining through it, which gives it the meaning of a space or an interval. So 时间 isn't just some abstract concept of time. It's literally the interval of time, that measurable space between 2 moments. So cool, right? Our third term for today is 地址. 地址. A falling 4th tone followed by that dipping and rising 3rd tone. 地址. And again, the character breakdown here is just incredibly straightforward and logical. The first character, 地, means earth, ground, or land. You're going to see this one everywhere. And the second character, 址, means a location or a site. So you put them together and you get a site on the ground. And what is a specific site on the ground? It's an address. It's just wonderfully direct. Okay, let's talk about that zh sound in je, because it can be a little tricky. It's very different from the j we saw in 价格. This is what we call a retroflex sound, which just means your tongue is curled back. So let's try it together step by step. First, curl the very tip of your tongue up and back toward the roof of your mouth. But, and this is key, don't let it touch anything. It's just kind of hovering there. Now, from that curled back position, try to make this sound from the English word jar. Je. Je. 地址. I know it feels a little weird at first, but practice this one slowly. It's a really critical sound in Mandarin. And our final term today is a 3-character one, 房间号. 房间号. The tones are rising, then flat, then falling. 房间号. So 房 means room or house. And hey, look who's back. It's Jian, that space character. So 房间 is literally room space. Makes perfect sense. But that final character, 号, is super important. It means number, but specifically for identifiers, like a phone number, a date on the calendar, or in this case, a room number. It's not the number you use for counting things. It's the number you use for naming things. It's a very precise and useful distinction. Okay, so now we have the vocabulary, we have the building blocks, but words are just static pieces of information until we actually put them to use. So let's see how these words connect to the real world, because this right here is the most important step, turning what you know into a skill you can actually use. This quote from our source material really just hits the nail on the head. We're not talking about abstract concepts you need to know for a test. We're talking about the literal tools you're going to use to buy a coffee, to arrange to meet up with a friend, or to find your way back to your apartment.
These concepts are absolutely unavoidable in daily life.
And you can really see that transformation right here. That abstract skill of just counting numbers suddenly evolves into the practical tool of asking for the price. Being able to recite numbers becomes your ability to set a meeting time. And, this is about more than just convenience. In a cultural context, when you can successfully navigate these daily interactions, when you can get the price right, when you show up on time, it demonstrates competence and respect. It shows you're making a real effort, and that's a huge part of building relationships. I mean, just think for a second about how often these things come up. If you spend just one single day in a city like Beijing or Taipei, what are the chances you'll need to understand a price, a time, or an address? It's practically 100%. These are not rare, once-in-a-while situations. They are the absolute core of what you'll be doing every single day. So here's the crucial point, the big takeaway from all of this. We've moved way beyond the classroom. Your ability to understand and use numbers in the context of price, time, address, and room number isn't just academic knowledge anymore. It becomes your functional, everyday toolkit for navigating the world, for connecting with other people, and for getting things done with confidence. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. As you keep going in your studies, I want you to look at every new word not just as something you have to memorize for a quiz, but as a potential key. Ask yourself, what real-world door does this little word unlock for me? What other simple words, like the ones we saw today, hold the power to open up an entirely new world of communication?